Well, welcome everyone. I'm Colleen Samuels, Executive Director for DRMAC, and I want to start by welcoming you all to DRMAC's first meeting of 2023. I'm so very proud of everything we've accomplished last year, and I'm very excited to see what's in store. But before we get started with our workshop today, Lauren is going to go over some housekeeping items, do some introductions, and the staff will share updates.
Thanks, Colleen. Just like we've been doing at our past meetings, I am going to go over some basic Zoom functions. So to mute and unmute, you can click the microphone icon in the bottom left-hand corner of your Zoom window. And then just to the right of that, you will find the camera button, which allows you to turn your camera off and on. And if you would like to access the chat, you can click the speech bubble icon located in the bottom middle of your Zoom window. And lastly, if you would like to access the raise your hand function, you can find it in the bottom right-hand corner by clicking on that smiley face icon. We ask that you just please keep yourself muted during the meeting unless you are called on. So if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and type your name and organization into the chat just so that we can keep track of who is here today. And then as always, you can use the chat as needed for questions or comments, and you can also use the raise your hand function to be called on. If you're able to, we ask that you leave your camera on as it helps with communication. All right. So today we're going to do some staff updates, introductions, and then our Getting There Travel Training workshop. Latoya is going to get us started with some staff updates.
Thank you, Lauren. For those who don't know me, I'm Latoya Pranti. I'm the program manager and volunteer coordinator. Currently, we have our volunteer program up and running. I'm super excited about everything that's coming with that. So if you know anybody who would like to kind of join the team and, give a hand here and there and just be part of this fun experience of us growing, then please reach out to me. My email is on the slide right now. Otherwise, I'll also add it into the chat. So that's my update. Back to you, Lauren.
I will take it from there, actually. My name is Stephanie O'Neill. I'm the program manager of special projects here at DRMAC. Currently primarily working on our travel training program, so I'll be speaking in a moment about that program, but I do want to mention that we do have a new wonderful volunteer, Shaughnessy. So she's working on some more outreach for our Getting There app. So if you get an email from her or a call from her, just keep an eye out. We're still looking to expand our resources to include some more counties and kind of bridge the gaps that are there. So I will hand it off to Lauren.
Thanks, Steph. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Lauren Kurtz, and I am the Marketing and Outreach Coordinator at DRMAC. Thank you to everyone who has already become a DRMAC member before the new year. But if you are not currently a member or your membership is coming up on the year mark, be sure to head over to the DRMAC website and become a member to just become a little bit more involved in the DRMAC community. All right, over to you, Diana.
Hi, everybody. My name is Diana Castro, and I'm the Operations and Outreach Coordinator. DRMAC is starting to set up their outreach calendar for in-person events for this year. If you have any events that you'd like us to come to or that you think might interest us, please reach out to me, dcastro@drmac-co.org. And we would love to, we're looking forward to seeing everybody in person this year. Colleen?
You're muted, Colleen.
Sorry, I'm I'm so bad about that. 1 second. I don't have any updates. So I think we're going to, did we read the list of attendees yet?
Yeah, I think if you don't have any updates, then we can just go ahead and move on to introductions.
Okay.
So when I call your name, just please unmute and then tell us your name, organization, and what you are hoping to learn in today's travel training workshop. So we will start with Andrea Suhaka. You're muted, Andrea.
press the space bar wasn't working. I'm Andrea Suhaka, Chair of Transportation Solutions, Arapahoe County, and on the DRMAC board.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrea. All right. Next, we will head over to Jessica Viana Sanchez.
Yes, I thought we were going alphabetically. I wasn't ready, but
No.
yeah, no, it doesn't matter. So my name is Jessica Villena Sanchez. I am with Mobility for All. I'm a bilingual mobility planner with them. And this is the first time that I attend to one of these travel training workshops. So I'm just excited to see what I can learn from how to conduct a successful travel training workshop. So yeah, some tools, I guess. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Jessica. All right, next we have Sarah Lee.
Oh, I think you're muted, Sarah. Sorry. So in the meantime, I can just mention real quick, Sarah is one of our new hires. Sarah Lee and Melissa Hunter have joined the Mobility for All team, and today is their second day of work. So
Awesome.
hopefully Sarah can, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, you're good, Sarah.
Thank you. I can't find the button anywhere. It's not where it normally is, and I have a vision impairment, so I'm like trying to figure all this out, and I can't see anything until it's like huge. So I'm sorry. I am brand new
No worries.
to everything. But I'm super excited to learn about what this is and what this travel training is. I'm super excited. I'm brand new to Mobility for All. I'm one of the 2 new hires for outreach and engagement. And yeah, I'm really excited about teaching people how to use transportation. And I think transportation is a really important thing to bring independence to a society.
I agree. Well, thank you for being here, Sarah, and welcome to your first DRMAC meeting.
Thank you. Are you able to mute me again? I don't know where the button is.
Yep, I got it.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Melanie Ward.
Hi, I am Melanie Ward. I work at the City of Centennial. I am interested in hearing what sorts of programs and transportation services there are for folks down here in the South Metro area.
Cool, thanks, Melanie. All right, next we have Susan Dahl.
I don't have an organization. I really don't know how I got this email, but it was something I was interested in, so I thought I better grab it. I have a son with developmental disabilities, and he used to take the RTD bus all the time to and from work most days. And then with COVID, we stopped that. And now he's back, but he's kind of gotten used to being hauled around by mom. And and we've lost track of when the schedules are. And so I kind of want to get ideas for what's available. He's also got some meetings that he goes to during the week that I don't think there is a bus route to get him there. So I'm interested in finding out about what kind of transportation access he could get.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for being here, Susan. All right, next we have Natalie L.E.
Hi, my name is Natalie Leiden-Eichel, and I'm an independent living advisor at the Center for People with Disabilities. And I'm hoping to learn today kind of the 101 on transportation because me and our team are hoping to be able to teach that to our consumers and like in their own isolated training groups.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie. All right, next we have Betty Abel.
Hi, I'm Betty Abel. I'm the Mountain Transportation Coordinator for Mountain Rides. This is my first meeting, so I am very excited to learn anything that will help me do my job better and help my community.
Great. Thanks for being here, Betty. All right. Next, we'll move on to Marcella Stambaugh.
Yeah, hi. I am with the Center for People with Disabilities. I'm an bilingual independent living advisor, and just same as Natalie, I'm here to learn more about what's available for our consumers and being able to teach them.
Great. Thanks, Marcella. Okay, let's see. Next, we'll move on to Melissa Hunter.
Hi, everyone. I am Melissa Hunter, and this is my second day with Mobility for All. I'm the second of 2 community outreach and engagement specialists, and I'm looking forward to kind of learning like exactly what I can learn in a workshop on this particular topic, and I'm just absorbing a bunch of information this week and happy to be here.
Welcome to your first DRMAC meeting, and thanks for being here.
Thanks.
All right, next we have Mary Bachman.
My name is Mary Bachman. I'm the Nursing Home Transitions Manager for the Center for People with Disabilities. And just as Natalie and Marcella said, this is kind of my first meeting with you guys, and I'm looking forward to learning more and passing that along to our members.
I'm loving all the new faces. Thanks, Mary. Okay, next we have Rocio Torres Mora.
My name is Rocio, she, her pronouns. I am with the American Cancer Society. And I'm based in Utah, but I oversee both Utah and Colorado. So I'm here to learn more about transportation options for some of the folks with a cancer diagnosis that we serve in Colorado. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Okay, now we have Cami Edson.
Here we go. Thank you. Hi, welcome. I'm excited to be here and meet everyone. It's my first time attending this training. And I've worked with Stephanie in the past and LaToya. Last year we got started on conversations about tailoring possibly this training for youth specific and family specific. So building off all the great work that's already been done. So here to kind of learn more about the original, or I guess the standard training, so we can pick up kind of where we left off last year, and maybe do some tailored sessions for younger folks and families this year. So very excited about that.
Great, thanks for being here. Okay, now we have Rachel Walker.
Hey everyone, Rachel Walker from Developmental Pathways. We serve folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities and delays, so I'm just excited to learn more about what is available for my community.
Thanks, Rachel. Okay, now we have Isaac Sargent.
Hi, my name is Isaac. I'm also with the Center for People with Disabilities. And so we're especially looking forward to making the training to serve all ages and all disabilities, but especially young adults, as Kimmy was mentioning, and some of the people we serve through transition schools.
Awesome, thanks for being here. Okay, and then I think lastly we have Virginia Bryan.
Okay, there we go. Hi, I'm Virginia. I'm with Cultivate. We serve veterans and veteran families, and so I'm here to learn more and see how we can all connect.
Great, thanks for being here, Virginia.
Thank you.
And LaToya, did I miss anybody?
Nope, you got everybody.
Well, all right. Well, thank you everybody for those introductions. It seems like there's a lot of different topics that you're looking forward to learning today. And I'm sure that all of those questions will be answered shortly. So now I'm going to pass it off to Stephanie so she can get us started with today's workshop.
All right. Thanks, Lauren, and hello, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about our Getting Their Travel Training program. Some of you may already know about the program. Some of you may have actually taken some of our courses, and some of you are completely new to it. So I'm just kind of here to update you all on what's going on and kind of talk about how you might be able to implement it into your life, your organization, and then pass it on to whoever might find it helpful. So the travel training program right now, we're entering into our 3rd year. And we have more information in our trainings than we ever have before. So that was a lot of what we were working at the end of last year, was trying to make it more inclusive and all-encompassing of transportation options that aren't just RT and Lyft. So excited to talk about what's in there. So there are 4 courses that are offered, just like we have had in the past. They're available both online and in person. I'll talk about how to sign up for both of those options towards the end of the workshop today. The courses vary from about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the course. Or I should say, one of our courses is 30 minutes, and then the other 3 will be an hour. And we're also flexible on tailoring those courses to the groups that we're working with. So if, for instance, we're working with a library or something, and they decide that it might be more beneficial to have, kind of squish the material, 2 courses into 1 course, we can kind of rearrange the material to accommodate whoever we're partnering with. The courses are free, so you don't have to pay for anything. And then we will be offering quarterly Spanish trainings. So that's a new aspect of our travel trainings. We're going to be offering material in Spanish as well. So the courses that we have overview of transit resources. We have alternative transit resources, Lyft and Uber basics, and then RTD basics. So I'll talk about kind of an overview of what each of these we'll talk about in the next slide, but you can take any of these courses in whatever order you want. You don't have to take them in a certain order to get the most out of all the courses. They're not, they don't build off of each other. So if you decide that you're only interested in taking a Lyft and Uber course and maybe the RTD course, you can totally do that. You wouldn't be behind, I guess is the phrase, if you want to do.
Stephanie, you need to be a little bit louder. You keep kind of drowning out.
Okay. Okay, I'll talk louder. Thank you. So in the past, we've had graduation trips. These are now called in the field trips. So this is available to individuals for after an in-person travel training session. And it's essentially a trip that's guided by a DRMAC staff member. Typically it's LaToya. And it's just an opportunity to practice what you learned in the courses. So if you take the RTD course and you want to, put it into practice and get out there and hop on a route and do it with one of us, you can do that. And that's also free. So I'll let LaToya kind of talk about her experience with that. And just share some information on the field trips.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. So yeah, I did do the travel training last year. We had a lot of graduation trips with a variety of populations, all from students, IDD students, older adults, people giving up their keys. So all of their experiences were different. So we kind of went more into wheelchair accessible areas. If they were older adults or somebody that was in a wheelchair, we kind of focused more on things like that compared to if they were younger students just trying to learn their routes to get to school. We kind of focused on things like that. And we made the graduation trips realistic. So if we were coming from, I don't know, let's say the school to get to Union Station and then back, we actually went and took those trips after we learned all the tools that came along with that. We got to actually put those tools into real life and experiences, right? I know a lot of them were fearful about Union Station, and I'm sure you guys heard all those bad things at one point, but what we were able to do was we were able to bring them down to Union Station and really see for themselves what it was like and feel safe about it when they did it because they went with somebody who was already knowledgeable about it and knew how to get around. They were able to really see how much security was down there. So it really took all their biases or that anxiety away. all the feedback that I've gotten is, this is great. I'm going to start using this to get to some plays downtown or to the game, or we can do this together with my friend. I can go to the airport now like this way, and all these new things that people get to do now because they know there's an alternative option for them. And this is really was that goal is, yeah, we can teach you through a book or in person, but really actually trying that out was the big experience for them and the biggest takeaway, and a huge feedback on it. So that has been my experience with the program, and that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Latoya. And I forgot to mention before I started, if anyone has any questions or comments, I see Cami, you raised your hand. If anyone has any questions or comments throughout me speaking, please feel free to raise your hand, unmute, type in the chat, and ask away. So Cami, go ahead.
Perfect timing. Yeah, can you just clarify, now that you have the a la carte kind of system for your trainings, was that a change from before where everyone took all of them and then a graduation trip? Now it's take them in any order you want, and you can have a graduation trip after any one of those, or do you need to complete all of them to kind of get that real life skill practice?
That is a great question. So yes, in the past, you had to take all 4 of our training sessions to then, I guess, qualify to take to go on the in-person trip. Now it's only currently in its current capacity, in the field trips are only being offered for groups who do in-person trainings. And typically those are through like libraries and recreation centers. So that's kind of where it is right now. And although you can take the courses in any order you want, we do strongly recommend that folks take the RTD course at least, because that's where the graduation trips go. So we found that individuals who don't take the RTD course in the past will get to the in-field trips and kind of not really know as much about, purchasing tickets or reading the schedules as those who do take the RTD courses. So while it's not super necessary or required, I guess, we do strongly encourage that at least the RTD course is taken.
That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for clarifying. Super helpful.
Yeah, of course. Okay, perfect. So we can jump a couple of slides.
Sorry to interrupt, Steph. There was a request to go back a slide.
Oh, yeah.
Are we good, Sarah? Good to move on? I think we're good.
Okay, cool. Sorry, thank you, Lauren. I didn't see that. All right, so this is just a summary of what the courses entail. So we have the overview of transit resources. This course talks about the DRMAC resources that are offered. So we have our Getting There guide. We talk about how to use that, what you can find in the Getting There guide. And we talk about the Getting There app as well. And I have a couple of slides later on that talk about that as in addition, but we also kind of just give an overview of some transportation options. So we just picked a handful of each transportation type and talk about them in our training. So there's private transportation, public transportation, rideshare options, volunteer-based options, paratransit, fixed route services, and then some microtransit options as well. So that's kind of like the 101 overview training. We have the alternative transit options. This course is the one that is 30 minutes right now. Hopefully we can expand some information in that and make it a little bit longer, but in that training, we talk about some bike safety and road safety information, and then we talk about some alternative transit options. So like local microtransit and shuttle options that are out there in different communities, and then e-bikes as well. And then in our Lyft and Uber Basics workshop, we talk about downloading the apps, using the apps. We talk about the Lyft Community Pass, and then we go over the rideshare, e-bike, and scooter functions of both apps. So in the past, we only really focused on the scooters and Lyft. So we've expanded it to include Uber and then the other functions as well. And then our RTD Basics course is pretty similar to our old RTD course, if you've taken that one before. So we talk about some safety information, we talk about planning trips and reading schedules, some fares and discount information, and then purchasing tickets. So kind of a 101 with RTD. Any questions on what's in the trainings? I will take the silence as we're all good to go. Okay, cool. So the Getting There app, this is one of the things that we talk about in the overview training. So essentially it's a tool that you can use to find transportation options in your area. So you'll download the app or head over to the website. It's www.gettingtheirguide.com. And I can put that link in the chat as well. But this is just a tool to basically type in your starting destination, your starting address, and your final destination. And then you can input a bunch of different information like your age, your, my mind is blanking, any accommodations that you want for the ride, the purpose of your ride. So it could be transportation to get to a doctor's appointment or just the grocery store or something like that. And then it will give you a personalized list of those transportation options. So that app is called Getting There, and we talk about that in the overview. And then we also talk about the Getting There guide. So in the next slide, the Getting There guide, it's our longest project that we've had, but there's over 50 transportation options listed in there, over 9 counties. So it contains information like their contact information, the cost to ride, the service, the hours of service, any accessibility accommodations that are available, and then the service area and just any additional information that would be helpful. So that's all there. And you can also find the Getting There guide on our website. And yes, Jessica, if someone else from the DRMAC team wants to throw the link in the chat for the Getting There guide website, and then also to the PDF version of the Getting There guide on DRMAC's website, that would be super helpful. I can only multitask so much. So we've trained 960 people, over 960 so far in our travel training program, which is a lot of people. And we're continuing to grow that number. So it's just been really nice to get to connect with all the people that we've trained, and the types of people that we trained on the next slide. We have, individuals, there are, groups like libraries and recreation centers. We trained students, healthcare teams, other organizations, individuals with, disabilities, just really just reach our wide part of our community. And it's been really nice because then we have conversations down the road and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of the, the Getting There app, or I've taken the trainings and I've been able to help my friend or, my son or whoever it may be get around. So the next slide, please. So this is a quote from one of our Getting There travel training participants. They said that after taking the courses, they know a lot more about RTD and how they can use it. They have a sense of confidence, safety, and independence in general. So it's really nice hearing the experiences from our participants and just kind of knowing that it's helpful. And this was a quote from actually one of the graduation trip attendees. So Latoya took this person out and completed the route with them, and it's just, we get a lot of feedback like this. So it's just so implementing the Getting There travel training program into your own organization or community or group, it's definitely, I think, a beneficial thing. Having another tool in your toolbox is definitely never a negative thing to have, but it will just, boost your knowledge for whether it be current clients or students or friends, whoever it may be, or future. It just kind of enables you to provide that extra level of assistance and thus increase access to opportunities to go to work or doctor's appointments or anything like that. So I will show the website. I'll share my screen in a second here. But to sign up for the trainings, if you're interested in the virtual trainings, you're going to head over to our website. So it's just DRMAC, DRMAC-co.org. And then at the top left-hand corner, I guess rather it's the top middle of the page, there will be a button that says Getting There, and you'll hover your mouse over Getting There, and then a menu will pop down right under that. and then you will drag your mouse down to the tab that says getting their travel training, and then a menu will pop out to the left. This is a little confusing to describe, but there'll be a menu that will pop out to the left, and then you can choose from the different types of courses. And then you can click on them and it will take you to Eventbrite and you can register. And I'll show you this in a second. But if you want to register for or sign up for any in-person trainings, you can email info@drmac-co.org with your inquiry, kind of what you're thinking, or if you just want to learn more information. And you'll just coordinate with the Dr. Mac team to figure out which courses would be best to include, and then decide on some dates. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and move it to the website to show you how to sign up for the virtual trainings. While I do that, does anyone have any questions so far about anything?
Is this available other than in English, or is that something you all are thinking of doing, putting in another language, or would it be on the individual agency to like host their own Spanish version if they wanted to?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we will be offering quarterly Spanish trainings right now. Just that's the capacity that we have. We can totally do trainings with organizations if they do provide their own translators in any language. So that's kind of just up to the individual agency. But yes, we are planning on doing right now at least quarterly Spanish trainings. Good question. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so on my screen right here, I am on the Dr. Mac website. So again, just drmac-co.org on our homepage. So at the top of the screen, in the top middle, there's that Getting There tab. So I'm going to hover my mouse over Getting There, and then I'm going to drag my mouse down to Getting There Travel Training. And then to the left of that, you'll have that menu that pops out. So there's in top to bottom, the list of trainings. It's overview of transit resources, alternative transit resources, Lyft and Uber Basics, and RTD Basics. So if I go ahead and just click on, I'm going to click on Lyft and Uber Basics. And it's going to redirect me to the Eventbrite page where I can then scroll down, and on the right side of the screen, there is an orange Select a Date button. And if you click on Select a Date, it will bring up the calendar or list of dates that we currently have. So you can kind of scroll through and figure out which time works best for you. We do try our best to offer them at multiple times of the day, just because we know some folks work and have different availabilities. But that just kind of depends on our capacity as a team, because we are a small team. And then once you register, you'll get the email confirmation and the Zoom link. So that is how you register for the online trips. And then while I'm here on our website, I just kind of showing my screen, I want to show you what the Getting There app looks like online. So I'm at gettingtheirguide.com. This is what it looks like. It's at the top, it just says Getting There Guide in the blue banner. Just below that, it says new, find housing and food assistance providers. This was a new addition that we released in October, I believe, where we have food and housing assistance resources in here in addition to transportation. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I encourage you to do so. I'm very excited about it. That was a fun project. But yeah, so on this page, you can type in your starting address, ending address, your age. If you are a veteran, have Medicaid, you can choose the purpose of your ride. So I know that someone had mentioned specifically transportation to like a cancer-related medical appointment. You can select that as an option. And then any accommodations. So when you hit search, you'll get a list of bunch of different transportation providers. Right now I'm getting 49 because I didn't put anything in, but if you do put in your information in, you'll get much less on your screen, and it will be more customized. So this is the app. And again, we do talk about this in more depth in our overview of transit resources workshop. So any questions on either signing up for virtual trainings or our Getting There guide? Cool. Awesome. All right, we can go back to the slides, Diana. And we can go to the next. Okay, so that was kind of all I wanted to talk about and share. Again, this is just kind of like an overview, introduction of what we can share with you. I know that Cami, you had mentioned that we had previous conversations to kind of tailor the trainings to youth populations, and we had also, I believe, talked about doing like county specific trainings. So that's definitely still in the works, and ultimately our goal is to make the travel training sessions as relevant as possible. You know, we don't want to talk about RTD to a community that doesn't have RTD service in it. So we want to be mindful of that. So we're totally open to collaborating with different organizations to make it helpful. But I hope that I answered everyone's questions. I was taking notes when you all were sharing what you were hoping to learn. So does anyone have any questions or curious about anything travel training related? Comments, concerns? Tammy?
Sorry, me again. Full of question. As we're planning our 2023, I know one of your staff talked about if there's events or things we'd love to have you at, but if we would like to host training sessions with specific groups, is it best to reach out to like you or LaToya directly so we can get them on both calendars? Like what's the best way to work with you all to possibly plan 2 or 3 events throughout the year with different groups or something like that as an example?
Yeah, you can just go ahead. You can just email me. I'll put my email in the chat, and then we can talk about coordinating that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And then do you recommend, if we're going to be kind of host sites, this is I think my last question, that we take all of these sessions first, or is it all right if we still kind of host and then maybe join the group, even if we haven't been through it yet? It's kind of our first time when it's their first time.
Yeah, that's totally fine if you're taking it for the first time when your attendees are taking it. The only time we recommend folks take it prior to when we're training is if there's going to be translation involved, just so they kind of have a better idea of what the material consists of. But yeah, you're totally welcome to, if you're hosting, you can just take it when everyone else takes it.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah. Anyone else have any other questions or comments?
Steph, the recording will be available on the website, right? I see a question in the chat.
Yes, so we, that's, great question. We post all of our meetings to our YouTube page after our meetings. It might take like a day or two to get up there. But yes, we post all of those, and I don't know if someone wants to, I can put the YouTube page in there. But yes, those will be available. All right, well, if we don't have any questions, no more questions, I hope that you all will reach out if you do have any, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with some more organizations and share some more information. But I'm gonna hand it off to Colleen and do some updates.
Thanks, Steph and LaToya. It was a good presentation. We now want to give you all some time to share any updates you may have. Feel free to unmute, type in the chat, or use your raise your hand function to be called upon. The floor is yours. Nothing?
If anyone has any cool events coming up, anything that they could use some help in sharing, anything, now's the time. Oh, 2 hands.
I love it.
Devin.
Hi, yeah, thanks. Yeah, 2 things. I think the number one that I would mention is that the city and county of Denver, so normally we offer we participate in RTD's EcoPass program, and then that's offered to employees for $10 a month. But I believe that that $10 was suspended, I want to say during the summer, and the city has made that free for employees for the full calendar year of 2023. So I guess that's one internal update from us. Another one regarding the public is that we will soon, I believe it's on February 10th, is Bike to Work Day, and we will have a station likely at on Bannock Street next to Civic Center Park. So for anyone who is familiar with where we had our summer Bike to Work Day and winter Bike to Work Day for 2022, it would be the same spot. It's between West Colfax Ave and West 14th Avenue. So that's still in planning, but that's another thing coming up as an update from the city and county of Denver.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I know Diana was just actually talking about Bike to Work Day a couple hours ago, actually. So thank you for those updates. Isaac, you're next.
Thank you. I actually have a question for you all. And sorry if you answered this earlier. I was having trouble with my audio, so I missed some of the presentation. But I was curious if you teach people about issues with especially things like paratransit, accessori via all of the paratransits, knowing that they're not always reliable, or that I, as a person in a wheelchair, commonly experiencing, you need to get somewhere, you may schedule a ride, and you're not going to get there if you're a professional that needs to be there at an exact time, and how you might address that in your trainings.
Yeah, great question. So kind of what we've always done, and LaToya kind of instilled this in me, but we want to be as real as possible in our travel training sessions. We're not trying to like sell anything to anyone. We're not trying to sell RTD, sell VIA. Like, we know that there are some services that aren't super reliable, and people experience issues where the rides don't show up. And, we share that with people, and we want to make sure that, we're not kind of leading them into a situation where they don't know what to do about those things. So we try to be as real as possible and share the feedback that we've received, whether it be from our information assistance line or from, firsthand talking to people. So yeah, I think just experience sharing and letting people know that not everything is as perfect as they might advertise. And I think that's kind of our approach right now.
I appreciate that. And then we do have a community event we're sponsoring, and I feel like this is a perfect platform to also ask a question. We are hosting, Comedy Works gave us some free tickets, and so we're hosting a night for people, but we can't give a ride. The Center for People with Disabilities works with Boulder County, Adams County, Weld County, Jefferson County. So our consumers are kind of all over the place. And it's obviously a late night thing where using a bus and going from Boulder or Longmont to Denver might be difficult. So I was curious if the community at large has suggestions for good creative ideas for transportation other than bringing a family or friend who can drive.
Does anyone have any thoughts?
I would want to work on that for a minute.
Doesn't Lyft have like a nonprofit, like I may be making this up. I think we researched this before, like a free ride based on certain criteria.
Yeah, but these ones are wheelchair. They would need a WAV.
Yeah.
I think Sarah has a
This is
suggestion.
Sarah. I'm sorry. I don't know where in the crap my mute button is, but I can't. Oh, it's in the corner. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. Sorry. Oh man, at least I found it now. Anyways, I'm in a really similar situation because I have a vision impairment, and I know that some late night, depending on how late it is, Accessoride will take you and drop you off and pick you up. But I know that they there's like a certain cutoff where they'll only pick you up from your house. They won't pick you up from anywhere else unless it's taking you to your house. Like, but I go to like poetry groups at like, I leave at 8:30 to 9, and then I come home anywhere from 10:30 to 11:30. And they'll get you, and they're very punctual that late at night because they don't have like any other riders, like hardly ever. Like the only other time I've had companions on my bus was like at like 8 o'clock, maybe 7:30. But I don't know if that helps at all. You probably already knew that, but like that's really helpful for me is that they will like, they'll take me and they'll drop me off back at home. And I think the latest they go is 2, it's either midnight or 2, I can't remember, but 2 a.m. or midnight. And I think airport trips don't qualify for that. I think airport trips can go at any time because it's the airport and you just never know with them. But
That is helpful, Sarah. I appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, of course.
I think I'll reach out to them directly to see what their policy is for that cutoff time. But I wasn't aware that they might make some exceptions if you're trying to get back to your house. So that may be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, they totally do.
Look at all this networking happening. Yes.
I love it.
That's what we want. That's what we want, you
I
guys.
love it.
This is the place for that.
I wasn't aware of that, so thank you, Sarah. That was helpful.
Yeah, of course.
Isaac, this is Diana with Dr. Mac. Would you mind giving us a way to contact you in case that we hear of anything else that might be able to help you?
Of course, I'll drop my email in the chat.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome, cool. Jessica.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if you already know, but Mobility for All is doing an inclusive planning process. We also provide travel trainings for people within the county who are interested in learning more about different apps. I think we do Uber, Lyft, Google Maps, and the Transit app. And we are trying to create this or modify those workshops to make them more accessible and inclusive. So we've been doing this work with the Center for People with Disabilities, in which we've focused and have been working with people who are blind and low vision to get their feedback on how would our workshops be helpful for them? What can we learn from them to make our Lyft, Uber, Google Maps workshops more inclusive? And our next event is going to be on January 19th. I'm going to put the link on the chat. It's an Eventbrite invitation. If you know of anybody who is low vision or who is blind and would like to get some credits, I think we give them Uber or Lyft credits or RTD credits at the end of our workshop. And in return, we just asked for their feedback. We want to know what works for them, what are the barriers that they face when they use those apps. And yeah, oh, and then at the end, if we have scheduled 6 sessions, and if they participate in the majority of them, I think we give them a $50 gift card for helping us with this inclusive planning process. So yeah,
Cool.
just trying to spread the word.
Yeah, will do. Yeah, we'll definitely share that with our network. And a couple people who I know are coming to mind, so I'll definitely pass that along. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Cami.
On top of Winter Bike to Work Day, another day that people might be interested in relevant to this group is there's Transit Driver Appreciation Day, which is March 18th this year. And then there's also specific days for school bus drivers, or there's one in February, one in April, not quite as relevant, but maybe for those of you who are going to tailor maybe some travel trainings with youth that might come up. But there's one in April 25th, and then there's also February 22nd. for some reason they ended up with 2 different titles on 2 different days, but I don't think we can appreciate these drivers enough. So we'll celebrate them on 2 days. There's
Sounds
probably
like a
lots of
plan.
other appreciation days, but those popped up in my brain when we started talking about our winter bike to work day.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I really like those. So yeah, we'll pass those along in our network as well. Thank you. Anyone else have anything to update on, share? Before we wrap up.
Susan, I know that you had mentioned that you were really here for your son and that support. I'm not sure if you looked at the chat or not, but I did give you our phone number directly. So just call us and we could help you out with that kind of stuff as well for him, okay?
And Susan, I know you had mentioned if the slides would be shared. If you could put your email in the chat, you can direct message to me if you want. So I'll send the slides to you.
Sure, thank you both.
Yeah. All right, last call before we wrap up. We're good.
All right. Well, thank you all for the updates. Dr. Mack is proud to be your regional coordinating council, and we will hold our next RCC meeting on March 7th, which will be completely dedicated to community discussion and collaboration. Thank you to everyone who attended our first workshop today. I hope you all learned something new and will consider partnering with the travel training program. That's all we have for you today. So we're going to wrap up the meeting. Thank you all again for being here, and we hope to see you all next month at our first member meeting of 2023 on February 7th from 1:30 to 3 p.m.